Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob with Trade Genius. It's the 13th of April, and I'm going to start off by doing something a little bit differently. I have a number of our subscribers have been trading uranium with me since last year, and we had two big themes that we were playing. One was fertilizer. That trade has played itself out for me, even though it kept going a little bit higher. But the other trend we've had, and I've talked about this before, obviously ad nauseum, is uranium. And so people always ask me, where do I think the end state is? And I give the general number, a CCJ in the 50s and quad U in the 20s. Quad U stands for UU. Now, there's other trades you could take: UEC, URG, URZ, you know, LEU. There's a bunch of them, but those are the two that we trade. And so I was asked to say, Bob, how would you scale out? And I was also asked today for people that get stopped out on any kind of swing, when should you get back in? So I'm going to address those first before I talk to the market. So might be just good information for all of you guys as well. But here goes. So this is Cameco, and just so you know, um, we started buying it uh, down here, and so this is the where the trend started. So I pulled back. I actually started buying it up here personally, but I'm pulling it back to the beginning of the wedge. Uh, so when this thing moved, we had a big pop right here, and then we had a big pullback. So I'm using that as my pivot. Okay. So I just did a Fibonacci line. That's the Fibonacci's. It looks at retracement levels. The golden number, the golden rule, all that good stuff, fractals. But it's a good way for you to look for pullbacks and look for places to get out. So that's what we're going to do here. So, and this is a weekly chart, by the way. So I went ahead and I pulled my fibs, okay, and then we have this was that top. We broke through it again. So now we're going into extensions here. The thing I was worried about, would we double top here and then fail, but have no fear. So we shot up higher. So those who are trading this with me, is that I would look to take 25% off when it got to 33.57. Okay, um, on a closing week basis. Then I would take an additional 25% off when it got to 40.49. And then I look to take another 25% off when it gets to 47.40. And then you have yourself a runner. Okay. So those are some rules of thumb. You don't have to follow it. On a weekly, though, there is a resistance coming in at right in here at 44.45. If you got to here, I would probably be more than half off, in which the fibs support that, because you don't know if that's going to double top or it's going to turn into a handle, drop 8 to 10% on you, and then lift up higher again. This way, and then the ultimate top's in the 50s here, and you could just chase that with your runner. Okay, so that's that one. So let's go ahead and look at Quad U. Okay, it's trading at 1082. Now, I personally got into Quad U when this moved, just when it started. I read some articles on them being a primary provider of uranium in the United States. They're also a rare earth company, and then we just reported today they also are a vanadium miner. So three really nice minerals in the good old USA, and that's going to be well supported going forward. So you have this move here. Okay, it started down here in the twos. I actually had bought in at like 233 area here. Yeah, right here it is. Okay, then I ran it up to the same area up here. So you pull your fib top to here, right to there. Okay, and now Quad U was different than CCJ. It hasn't broken out of its double top yet. So one of the things that you may want to think about doing is taking 25% off when it double tops. And then when it gets to 1390, taking that 25% off. 1707 another 25%. And then 2056 is a truncated version. It's basically twice the move here. And that dovetails to where I think it's going to probably get into some strong resistance at 2056. So that's how I want you to trade Quad U. If you're asking my opinion, and I just gave it to you, you can do what you want. But I just wanted to give you some scale out thoughts. Now, people ask me, when should I get in if I miss a move? Because FOMOing is very dangerous. That's fear of missing out. Okay, and you can see my signals were buying here. And the move popped up here. So now you have a situation where, for me, these are our trend bands. I'd be looking to enter back in and these move up with the price of the market. So pull back to the 950 area for Quad U. And for CCJ, I'd be looking at a pull back to 2950 area would be your move there too. So I hope it helps with that. And that's what, would be a good idea to do with really anything that you think has legs, and this has legs. So you might want to do it with some of the natural gas plays. I haven't really been trading them too much. So, but I know they've been race cars too. So can't chase everything. So let's talk the market here. And of course, yesterday I said tomorrow is usually a range day. It's indecisive Wednesday. Well, it wasn't indecisive at all. But I will point something out. Pretty cool in TradingView. In the community section, there is a indicator called flags and wedges. So you just put it on there and it mathematically calculates the flags and wedges for you. And so here's basically a flag, which is a big old bear flag. And see, and it broke down here. So it broke below it. Now, sometimes it'll come up and it'll test this channel right here. But the measured move for ES, if this flag prevails, is down here at, let's see here, 3,900, because it's a 5-point move. So it would be 3,900. Sorry, the math here. So right about May 2nd. You know what happened on May 2nd and May 3rd, guys? The Fed meeting where they're going to raise interest rates. So it'll be interesting to see if this trend plays out or not. I'm not necessarily counting on it. I just find it interesting that the flag formed. We'll see if they start pulling back down to it over the next 3 weeks. We shall see. But that's the channel. Okay, now what happened today was it made me look like an idiot. Started off making me look like a genius. And so let's do it 15 minutes easier this way. And so we had a move. That's still, yeah, here we go. So the market was up all day and then it went whoosh down. Okay. And then it started to climb right before the market opened and essentially never looked back. So at the start, it looked like it was gonna really have a struggle, and it came all the way back down to the lows from overnight, and then it just took off from there. Never looked back. You even have a wedge right here, and that wedge played out, and then it did an overthrow. Now, what's interesting about wedges, when they overthrow like that and come back in, what you do for a wedge to figure out where the move might be, you put basically a channel on that, and in TradingView you can clone it. You take that clone and you slide it down to the bottom of the wedge, and that forms a channel. And so when things break back in from the wedge, you're now back in this channel here. Now the thing about where ES now is on a 15-minute here is that range trader says buy the dip. The trend bands say don't short me. The heat indicators are overbought, but that's okay because they can be embedded like this, and you typically get these situations where you buy the dip. So that's the situation that we have with ES. So anyway, I had to scramble today on this trade. I had to flip a short that I went into the day with, and and I had to go ahead and protect it with some sold excuse me, with some sold puts on top of it, because my view for next week is bearish going into OPEX. And so tomorrow, Thursdays are typically down days, but it's also an options expiration day before Easter, and it looks like they're going to push it back up. So what happened to me was I expected after for turnaround Tuesday to really start to move and have people glide into it. They dunked it on me on Tuesday night, made me look like an idiot, and then turned right around and did it again. But the market does that, so you have to be flexible, realize you're wrong, and then move on. So that's where that is now. For as much as this pained me, it cost me money. This one was my friend because we own a ton of energy in our family, and oil just went straight up. Okay. So the Biden administration is trying like heck to create environments where there's a glut of energy, but it's just not working. The market is pressing them on it. And now we're back up to 104. And this is going to become problematic for for inflation, for Biden administration, and for the market eventually. So this is an issue. Again, by the dip mode, trend band say by the dip mode, market is staying fairly embedded. So this is problematic. So the market needs oil to go down for it to take the pressure off, but it looks like they're playing games with it. And remember what the Biden administration said, they'd fill up the SPR under 100. Well, the market's not stupid. As soon as it ducked down under 95, they literally shot this thing up $10. $10, 10% oil moved. Now, there's no supply and demand issue over 10%. It's pure speculation because they know the Biden administration can't control inflation, and they know they are not interested in increasing supply long term. So they're looking past the gimmicks, and we're all going to pay for it. And if you voted for these clowns, you know what? No sympathy for you, because these people are absolute idiots. And whatever reason, you might have hated Trump, but this is what you got. I'd rather hate Trump and have his policies than love Biden and have his policies. So political rant off. These guys are going to cost us all probably a recession, maybe even depression. That's how inane these guys are. So that's what we're dealing with here. And I started taking some profit off a bunch of stuff, and I'm just going to kind of, stay with that. We had a trade that talked about yesterday, that the ATER, after we got out of it, it popped again over to $6. Looks like it's coming back in now. So that was a heck of a move. But we made our multi-percentage gain, so we're happy with what we did. And DWAC came alive a little bit. I have a hold it long term in my IRA, so I'm not really doing much with it. But DWAC on a daily here has some work to do to get back into good graces. So basically, it's still blue, So any of these bounces are considered counter trend. They might be something to play with, but this wedge basically blew up on them, and the range trader then, after double bottom, failed, and now this is where we're sitting. So it's really up to those guys to get their act together and get the membership on board and start providing content, and have Trump starting to bang the drum a little bit, and we'll see what happens. So I think that's all I want to talk about today. I think gold was up again today. I know that because all my miners were up, and I'll leave it at that. And tomorrow I will do a end of the week podcast, but Friday's Good Friday. We'll be at church, and then we'll be relaxing the rest of the weekend. But I will do a Saturday and Sunday. Phil's traveling this weekend, getting situated back at his other home, and so probably won't do a crypto thing this weekend, Easter weekend. But I may just go through the crypto charts with you guys and just show you what I got and see if there's anything interesting in there for you from my point of view. But anyway, thanks for listening. You guys have a great day. Bye bye.